All right, we're live, and it's so interesting today. It's the first time that we're actually going to interview a live sheep. We have a very special guest today. His name is 2Lambroz. Lambro is a creator. Obviously, as you can see, he is an anon degen. So I think before we get to the questions, Lambro, can you tell us your real identity?
No way, bro. But yeah, like thanks for coming here. This is my first time ever using this model. I've been quite anonymous typically. I like to just talk shit on Twitter and see do people like what I say. Yeah, thank you for inviting me today. Yeah, a quick intro myself. Basically, I've been playing around crypto since 2019-ish. I'm a guy that likes to just do stuff, like just try things, right? So you can imagine I got relatively lucky throughout the cycle because I was early and I'd like to develop a system to do things quickly. I dabble with, so on Twitter, I'm more known for the DeFi side of things, but actually I dabble everything from GameFi, SocialFi, well, I suck at NFTs, but like, yeah, basically I tried every single thing. And then you can imagine I get wrecked over different things as well. I will not go deep into that. Then in 2023, over a drunk bet with my friend that I can write better. I have better knowledge than most people that chat shit on Twitter. He was saying that I couldn't build a Twitter following. So I started this in 2023 as a new year, new me kind of bullshit. I started doing this basically. And yeah, I kind of regretted the name because I was like, let's come up with the worst, most shill name, right? So everyone wants a Lambo, so that's where the name came from. It's funny, but I can't shake it away now. So like, yeah, but that's a very quick intro of me.
I see. Okay, that's super cool. And we are right on the back of the ETH ETF just being approved by the SEC. It didn't look like it was gonna get approved in a last minute decision. It got approved. What's your take on the impact of the market?
To be very honest, I've been talking about this for a while, right? Like, I think BTC ETF, like, okay. Just to clarify this, like, on my personal point of view, I just stack ETH and BTC. I shared sometimes before, like, I treat it as a game. I just think what is the best time to buy every weekend and just buy it as like a game. I treat one ETH as one ETH and one BTC as one BTC, so I don't really mind that. It's the altcoins or the non-BTC and ETH coins that I trade that I care. I think from the BTC ETF, it's proven that there's no new money coming on chain going to altcoins. So I don't think it will hit the market that well. And my thesis have always started drifting to things that what would the institution think is good buy or what would long-term holders start to consider. This has been my relative, well, not so rare. This has been my more recent thesis that I haven't really written out properly yet. So people think I only like Ponzi DeFi stuff, right? But actually, so if you read the stuff that I put in my group chat, I've been talking about real world assets as one of the major plays that I think it will be important since the Bitcoin pump. You notice a lot of like Bitcoin L2s and Bitcoin Fi didn't get as much attention, or the attention didn't last as long. So I think this is because people just want to buy the ETF and they're not coming on chain like the previous cycle. So I would assume this is the same thing with ETH ETF as well. That's why the only thing that would do well would be I don't know, can I show token ticker here? But like, yeah, I would think like real asset like Ondo, and maybe LSD, LRT protocols that would support these kind of stuff would benefit from this.
So that's pretty interesting because you are seen as pretty much like this a non-degen lamb, but you are pretty pragmatic and you seem very institutional focused. Are you full-time crypto? Do you have like institutional background? Are you like working in Web3? Like what informs your point of view?
I have no comment. I'm just, I prefer not to share more background, but TLDR is that there's two sides of me, right? There's one side that's in it for the tech. I joined crypto because I like the speculation part of things. Highly volatile stuff is always good to trade. Then Ethereum became more mainstream in a sense where I believed in programmable money and permissionless things. But staying in this industry for this long, I noticed that there should be two sides of you. One side that's in it for the tech, and the other side is, I came here to pick money, man. Like fuck you. It doesn't matter if it will be gone in 3 months. Like if I have the time, I'll just speculate and make the money, right? So I think in that sense, right, the capital flow is flowing towards that sector, and I'm just going to go to that sector. Sometimes the things that I post on Twitter, some things that I buy, I don't post on Twitter because it doesn't go in line with my profile, but I'll share in my group chat. But like, it's like sometimes I would like to buy. I like meme coins time to time. Like when I'm drunk, I like to buy some meme coins to gamble, but I don't write that on Twitter because it goes a lot. It doesn't go well with my profile. So like, but yeah, I'm sure you trade meme coin as well, right?
We all do.
Yes. Yes.
So you mentioned that you like volatile sectors, and ETH is becoming more and more stable. So what do you think is the next sector that you are interested in?
So not gonna lie, I'm a little bit lost in sector as well. Typically, I like to develop my own thesis every quarter and review what I did wrong, kind of thing. For right now, I think this quarter, I couldn't find something that's really good. So personally, I think it's going to. These are the themes that I'm looking at, right? Ethereum infrastructure that has been long enough in a sense where if you were to tell a traditional guy, they would get it. Let's say mining, let's say LSDs, let's say infra that help people build blockchains, RPCs, flashboards, those kind of guys, right? It's things that people can. It might be complicated. It might not be Ponzi, but it's things that you can see some institution can do one single big buy or DCA into this, or repackage it into a financial product to sell. The sectors that I'm looking at, I wouldn't say a sector. I would say it's criteria, right? Criteria is something that people won't think people will think it's going to be more long lasting. Likely the token has been is not the low float type of tokens. It has to be a team that has been proven to be around throughout, let's say, 3 years or so. So these are the things that I'm looking at right now. That's like 3 to 6 month horizon. Then obviously there are real assets as well. I wouldn't go too deep into the real asset side of things. I guess there's infra, there's credit, there's actually loan. But I think most of the real asset things are non-speculatable for retail. So let's see how it goes.
You stack ETH and BTC. You're interested in various industries like RWA and all that, but then you also write about all these different chains, products, protocols, and then you obviously trade memes as well. So, like, do you actually use them also? Like, do you actually use and trade and utilize what you even write about?
Yes, I do. So my motto is that whatever I write, it has to be something that I understand, or it has to be something that I would do. So this is something that's very toxic within crypto, right? It's that I spend 15 hours on the fucking chair. I'm literally addicted to gambling. Like, if I just buy DCA stuff and long-term thesis, I can just spend 5 hours a day, then I'm done rebalancing the majority of my portfolio. But because that I'm so addicted to adrenaline pump and chasing the next big thing, like the stuff that I write on Twitter is probably like 20 to 30% of a portfolio that probably doesn't worth my time to do, but I enjoy doing it. I randomly bought a I bought a Bitcoin puppet for around 2K, and then it pumped to like 30 something K, or it was 25K. It was like, I'm like, oh yeah, I live for this shit. Obviously, if I had to do that for every single narrative, it does not make sense. But it's that's the fun part of crypto, right? You just gotta do that. And also, if you notice, most of my farming stuff is either ETH Delta or BTC Delta. So like, all the points farming or all the things, right? The reason why I like farming, most of my content are based on farming, is because like I would use the ETH that I DCA into to do it. So let's say all the points. All right, cool. I'm just playing around with that. Instead of buying the token, I can farm it and I can decide, do I want to trade it after? So it gives me some fun, and and if I don't do that, I'll lose touch of the market, right? Let's say if I weren't so active in the Arbitrum in 2023, people like Arbitrum because it was so active. It has such a vibrant ecosystem, right? If a lot of OG friends that I spoke with, there's like, oh fuck, bro, this is just another L2, this is just another Polygon. I don't know why you like it so much. So I think this is a practice for me to understand market sentiment, and also it's fun for me to gamble.
And then I've seen on your Substack, by the way, I recommend it to everyone, especially the piece about doing research. There are a lot of Pendle arts. What are your takes on Pendle? We've recently had Anton from Pendle Finance, but I'm super curious why you are excited about this protocol.
Bro, you know, Pendle, fuck. Like Pendle is a so my love and hate story with Pendle, right? So I'm a big Perkdex guy. I got wrecked in FTX. So I was like, all right, cool. I understand people have to perk trade. So I was very into Perkdex. I was very early I wasn't very early. I was early enough in gains and GMX to understand it. And as a farmer, I used to farm a lot of GLP as well. And I started writing about Pendle in January of 2023, one of my earlier pieces, because of I understand yield markets and yield trading. And Perkdex LP is something that is sustainable yet fluctuate enough for people to trade it. So I was like, all right, with LSD coming, it's a good way to start trading yields, right? And so that's why I started writing about Pendle. I started buying Pendle, and then knowing that they go into about Arbitrum, which is one of my favorite ecosystem at the time, I just started buying a lot. But I made a decision of like the typical guys that went, oh man, it's up by like 20x. I need to start selling. Oh, what's next for them? Like, and then because I've been crypto for relatively long, I've seen so many teams that did one or two things and they just slowly died off. And then I have this very bad habit of let's say I'm like a girl that got dumped on by some fuckboys. I'm like, I can't do this again. I can't go through this again. So I started selling Pendle. So I sold Pendle around $2 and $3 ish. It was still good, right? It was still good 20 to 20x ish kind of thing. It was surprisingly fun, and I think that's how I bootstrapped to my initial followers as well, right? So I started selling. I told TN that I can't, man. I can't do this anymore. You guys are good for you, man. You're done. Yeah. But so I started selling, but obviously everyone knows what's next, right? Like he showed the up top professionalism. His team is top notch in doing token marketing, product improvement, explaining their product, and obviously they know how to do all the listing in different places. And it's just a good mix of products, right? I'm gonna stop shilling about Pendle, but yeah. So I sold all my bags. I was very sour. I don't really talk about it on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. I just farmed them and I still kept selling it. But recently I started entering again because of the real asset. I think real asset will come in. Secondly, I think because Idle Layer and AVS yield will play a big part. People think point system will go away, but I don't think so, because there will be another form of points or incentive farming from Idle Layers, AVS, and operators, tokens farming, etc. And knowing Pendle's team, they would tag on, like I call them like the narrative and the yield slut. They can tag on anything they want. So I think it's they would do well. So in the recent dip around $4.50 ish, I started buying a little bit again. So I think it would be good. So I'm shilling my bags like yeah. Pendle is good shit. If the market goes to the real asset side of things, they can do it. If the market stays to do more incentive farming, they'll do well as well. And then obviously they have the V3 coming, which is a good product improvement to enable better trading experience for yield tradings, for YT tradings.
Yeah, I like the term yield slut. I think Pendle did so well to really write each narrative that really brought in like tons of TVL, and I think you can see that they just overtook Uniswap. Correct me if I'm wrong in terms of TVL. Yeah, some real giga chats there. I wanted to ask you, right? Like, you were talking to TN like from Pendle, right? So I'm assuming that a lot of protocols and a lot of founders and a lot of teams get in touch with you. I know that I've gotten in touch with you in a work capacity before as well. So for people who are looking from the outside and people say, oh, there's all these movements of KOLs pumping and dumping, protocols working with them. So are KOL cartels real? Maybe can you give us kind of like an insider view of how such things operate? Do they even exist, and how does that work?
There's definitely something called the KO cartel for sure. Like, so let's say if today three of us like a coin, or we think a coin might do well, and after this session you go buy the coin, and everyone will keep telling people, I agree with his view. Technically it's KOL. This is basically that, but putting on a KO level where I'll write about it on Twitter. And I think there is a line between where you want to draw in what is a promotion and what kind of promotion you would take. Like on I personally do take promotion because I spend so much time sharing and writing, and I do think I should get paid for it. But my motto is that I will only take promotions or work with protocols that I would buy or hold or farm or use. Let's say I've done promotion for a VE30 fork before. People thought that it was a shit protocol, but the thing is, like, if you farmed it and you sold it, or if you just farmed it with BTC and ETH, which is what my thread told you, you will have made a 60% gain in 1 month. Like, not APR, but flat gain. Like, the thing is, like, in the market, when people lose money, they will blame people. When they win, when they win money, they'll think they're the god. I think cartel do exist. There are pump and dump groups, and you just need to find the right KOLs that has the right morals and you follow, right? That you follow, kind of thing.
So where is it this thin line between the promotion and not very ethical shilling?
So I think the line is that if you personally don't believe in the product or a long-term or short-term speculation of a token, you wouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. That's the thing. I wouldn't take some money from you just to write something good about you. I would take some money to write about you if I think it's a good buy or if I already bought it. Oftentimes, I like to take promotion to take tokens as well and buy that. So it averaged down my cost, but I wouldn't just dump it straight out. My article is out and stuff. Like, I actually have lost money because of these kind of things. Like, I would talk to the project team. They will shill me. I'll like the product. I'll like the project. I'll buy it. And then I end up losing more money.
Yeah, so I want to touch on that, right? Sorry, the biggest two questions follow up here, right? One is, what is the biggest time you got wrecked working with a project or even in the market? And the second one is, what is the shadiest thing any project has ever offered you as a deal?
Let's not go to how much I've lost. I don't want to throw shade at anyone, but like, I think you know. but yeah. Shady. Oh fuck! Like, there's tons of shady stuff. Like, if I go through my Twitter DMs, like, there are guys that will offer you percentage of tokens to shield some meme coins. I think I get like 10 DMs a day from different protocols. That does not make sense.
So it's that prevalent. You're talking about thousands of people over the course of a year that would actually get in touch with you and say, "Hey, Lambro, pump my token, pump my project." That's very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. They literally would just say, "Oh, do you want to? We'll give you X amount of token if you promote my project." Those kind of stuff. Like, it's especially for meme coins, to be honest. Like, especially for meme coins or vaporwares. But the thing is, like, so if it's a vaporware with a good enough narrative that it will run more than 1 month, that's something that I would consider. Like, wherever we're in the industry where we want to buy before people, most of the product does not justify the valuation at all. Like, that's just the crypto market. You just need to, like, hear the pitch from some other people, and you think if that's the pitch will invite more people to buy, just buy before them and sell before them, kind of thing. But this is disregard promotion or not. And if you think you're just taking the money to write it, I think it's heavily damaging, because, like, you're building your personal brand, you're building something, a trust. And this, to be very honest, like, I chat to my community. Like, you've been to my group chat, right? I chat to them more than I chat to my girlfriend. Like, for real, it's kind of fucked up. I feel very connected to them.
Yeah, and I have, the KOL rounds are one of the driving forces, I guess, for the collaboration between projects and the KOLs. And it seems that the KOLs have the best spot on the market in comparison to VCs, retail users, and others, right? Because they just jump in just before the TGE. They can, have, 1 month cliff, 7 months of vesting, and they got the token on the discounted price when they're listing. So, yeah, don't you think it's a bit, unfair for the rest of the market?
I do agree. So okay. So I think there's a few sides to this, right? So first, the terms are better than you. Okay, cool. How did they gain this unfair advantage? It's a key. So just like why some VC can get some tickets in some good deals and some can't, I think that's, you can say, is a moat or whatever. As an investor point of view, it is what it is. If the team has designed to do such structure, that means the team, and you don't like it, then you probably shouldn't buy it. And the second thing is, I think this is an overly criticized point, because like if you look at the detail, right, it's only 1% or 2% or 0.5% of the whole total supply. Like if the token was going to dump, that percentage of the token will not make any sense. But obviously, like people like to write about it to get more Twitter following or some eyeballs, goes on stuff, right? Like everyone investing wants to get unfair advantage. As a VC to get better deals, or as a KOL to do more stuff to get deals. And if you win, you win, right? Like most people in the market, they want to buy before listing, right? Then that's a slight unfair advantage compared to people that don't know how to operate on chain as well. So I don't rate like fairness. Like I rate how can you get unfair advantage to win. And if you think that token is too toxic because there's too much KOL, then don't buy it, bro. Fuck.
But that's the whole point of being a non-degen, right? The whole point of the non-degen is to be able to grab the unfair advantage and not to actually have any association or rather long-term expectation from you to be involved. In fact, a lot of the KOL rounds, as far as I know, don't even get disclosed publicly as well. But I think that kind of begs the question, or going back to like your whole thesis around, let's say, just stacking ETH and BTC. And then like you have on the other side all these projects and protocols you're potentially working with. Like, do you really see crypto as a technology that you think is going to work, or do you just see it as collective hysteria that believe in the value of this imaginary currency that we created, just like a fiat USD? It's the same thing that applies to BTC and ETH, but you don't really think about the technology as something that's worthwhile, right? And I think also going back to the point that you mentioned earlier, that the vast majority of technology and products and platforms in the space are pretty much rubbish, or just don't even live up to the valuations at all.
I would like to clarify something that like I truly believe in crypto technology. I truly believe in DeFi. Like that's the reason why I never left, right? Like I stuck with it. I could be doing more ROI positive things than this, to be very honest. Like the reason why I do this is because I admire the technology, but a lot of times the token does not capture the value. Like I support AMMs. I probably know how most AMM, how most DeFi concepts works, right? I admire it with a passion, but I'm not going to hold a token that's going to drop in value just because I love it, right? So that's two different side of things. Like that's why I feel like, by buying Ethereum, by supporting Ethereum, the base foundation of this, it's a way of showing appreciation of art, of this thing.
But that's a good point, right? The good point here, the point here is that there is a difference between creating technology that works and the second part of it, which is actually creating a flywheel or an ecosystem that actually captures value for the token holders, right? So that's actually a very important and valid point. Yeah, just wanted to add.
Yeah, the thing is like I don't like to see things in FDV point of view. In, let's say, because time horizon, like, okay, I shared about a lot of things about like fundamental business, low, high, fully vested tokens, these kind of things, because I think with the ETF coming in, with the market getting more mature, maybe start of next year we can start to look at things that actually do that, like tokens like MakerDAO and stuff, right? Like Uniswap, MakerDAO, or even Pancake token, right? Like these tokens are tokens that have already secure their spot as a value, or they have captured what they have to do and they will grow, right? But the problem is, then you look back in the ROI side of things, like how much will they outperform Ethereum or Bitcoin? Then why not I just hold Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So it's like ROI driven and tech driven kind of things. Like the market is not big enough for us to long term hold something that you can just go that way if you're just looking pure ROI. So that's why I think my personal thing is either I look ultra far timeline, which is Ethereum and Bitcoin is confirmed, or ultra short timeline, which is 3 to 9 months timeline. That means I don't have to look at FDV. I'm just looking at that emission during that time. And I think that is the positive ROI side of things.
What we just heard during the last 25 minutes, and the audience, I think, could agree with me that you are not only content creator, you are a legit researcher. So what tools I don't know, what thesis, what kind of questions you ask yourself when researching the new project that's not, on the level of Pancake or Uniswap that everyone knows about?
First, I really hate the name content creator, to be honest. Like I genuinely hate it because like I do think a lot of people rewrite stuff and just call themselves like, well,
Yeah.
I started writing things because like if you like most of the things I write, I believe in it. I think yeah, I don't like to call myself content creator other than if you call me a meme creator, I like it. But yeah, I enjoy it, right? But like I'm here to learn. And so in terms of my research method, right? So surprisingly, my group chat has given me a lot of stuff to look into. So one thing that I enjoy about my group chat is that there's diverse amount of people with different background and speciality. Like with Aaron, I spoke to him in detail of what are fee generating stuff in Swap before. Like without the group chat, without the account, I wouldn't be able to ask such detail. Like I did not know how the Zap works, why does Zap make money, those kind of stuff, right? There are people who tell me, like, let's say if you don't like memes, but how does MEV bot make money, or what people do and what people trade, right? And I don't have any smart contract background or any computer science background. Without them, I need friends to verify my stuff. So my typical process is this: I would have my own thesis. From there, I have a Twitter scraper that scrapes new projects. I have some paid subscriptions that I filtered. So I have weekly activities where I scrape new projects. If it goes in line with my thesis or if it catches my eye, quick glance, I will take a look at them. Secondly, I will look at TVL change because I think TVL change is a very important thing. Although there's some sketchy TVL change in general. Then I'll look at trading volume of tokens. I like to look at Dex Scanner to see the shift of the market. I like to look at fundraising details just because I think fundraising details shows a certain character of certain group of people's character in buying certain stuff. I like to talk to people that have totally opposite opinion with me. That will probably go into a semi argument. So I'd be educated in certain sense. And yeah, that's about it, really.
So you mentioned thesis a couple of times. Can you give us some examples of thesis? And do you write them down? Do you have them in front of you? Like, how often do you check those? What's the thing with thesis, man?
So I do a quarterly write up towards myself. I shared it a little bit at the start of my writing career, I guess. I don't know, as a content creator, like kind of thing. But like I started writing, I used to do one every 3 months, then I stopped doing it. So I would start things from bigger picture to smaller picture. For example, like my thesis ish, this I haven't finalized it, right? For starting from June. My thesis is that Iden layer has launched mainnet. What does that impact us? What would happen, right? So, which is, I think, the same cycle of LRT would happen in saying that, but it will rotate into yields from AVS operators. They might not be a profitable business model, but they will be a highly point or emitting token farming sector. Secondly, I'll look at bigger things. Let's say if BTC and ETH would drive in money. Where is the money going? And I think it's proven that it's not going to PvP DeFi right now. So that's what I meant by, that's why I started looking into real world asset, those kind of stuff. Then I will look into different sectors of things. So I will start from big, then I narrow it down to small. And then from small, then I'll try to pick up narratives from there by looking at the different projects. But yeah, this year that's why I've been saying that I've been struggling a little bit because I couldn't find something that I find very solid. And an interesting thing is that normally I'll be okay with this, but because that I write so much now, I feel the need to find something. Like, it's weird because like back in the days, I would just write whatever I feel like. But because I feel like I have a profile to keep now, even things with slightly lower conviction, I would have to write about it. Or I need to shit post for the Twitter algo kind of thing.
And do you feel that it's because people are saying that this cycle is somewhat different from the last couple of cycles, and do you see that already? You also mentioned before with the ETFs that it seems that retail is not coming in, at least on chain. They're all buying it through the ETFs. So like, what do you notice that's different about today that that you find creates this lack of predictability, or let's say this sense of loss that you feel looking at the market right now?
This is my rough belief in how the market would go. So it would start with centralized exchange. Then you go buy the hottest token. Then you probably end up some meme coin. Then you'll be like, I'm going to buy earlier meme coin, so I'm going to go on chain. Then you realize what is yield farming, what is Ponzi games, where is GameFi, what's NFTs. So right now, I think there's no catalyst that pushes people to go on chain compared to last cycle. Last cycles, there were NFTs, there were GameFi, there were different type of DeFi stuff. But right now, I don't. What? Even myself, right? If you don't exclude the tokens I buy, like, what can I ask my friend to go on chain for that's new? Like, I don't know what can I tell them, right? They ask me like, oh, I can just go on another exchange, let's say not Binance but Bybit or KuCoin. Then you can go worse and worse centralized exchange to buy more and more interesting weird coins. They don't have to go on chain. But whereas NFTs back in the days or GameFi, those games would make them go on chain, right? But right now we don't have the element, and the so-called AI coin, which is what the normie likes the most, cannot promote that part.
1 week ago, we had Joao from Inception LRT project. He's the CEO and co-founder, and he has a thesis because of the higher yields, like 10 to 15%, the institutions will actually go on chain because the ETFs want to have this yield embedded in them. So maybe Eigenlayer may be a driving force for this big money to actually come on chain.
I agree with that narrative, but realistically, there's not enough yield for that capacity. But I agree with the narrative. Like where does Eigenlayer's yield come from? Like, without the incentives, it comes from restaking stuff to secure stuff. Like, what stuff can be secure that generates enough yield to take up the capacity? But again, 3 months, all right, all good, bro. Don't worry. We can make some points. We can make some other protocols. We can farm that shit. So yeah. But so that's why I agree the thesis to a certain point. That's why I've been looking at Babylon, and I'm looking at other BTC, L2 restaking, those kind of stuff as well, right? So like in 3 months horizon, just farm the shit out of it. Like, and the best thing about it is, yeah, you're just holding ETH delta. Like, does not matter. Like, if you think it was going to be 50%, but it ended up to be 4%, then good for you, right? It's still 4%. You're not losing anything. You just, as long as there's no smart contract risk, then you're still holding ETH. That's the fun part, right?
I like how I can see visually your short-term horizon, your 3 to 9 months, and then your long-term, and kind of like really fuck off the points in between. So it's very consistent. So I think that's pretty cool. I want to ask you, because you said that people are not going on chain. There are no catalysts like GameFi and stuff like that and NFTs from the last season. Onboarding people en masse right now. What do you think? What do you think is really needed, or what do you think could be the catalyst next that can lead to Web3 and crypto mass adoption on chain?
I feel like I'm going to regret saying this, but I've been exploring Ton. I've been hoping the mobile phone might do something on different networks. I've been slightly disappointed with the on-chain activity or the stuff that you can do on Ton. But I think with enough incentives, maybe I feel like I'm going to regret saying this, bro. But like deepen on those like fucking bullshit hardware plus software might push someone to come in.
That's interesting. Like, I think it's super interesting, the narrative that Tan has. And they certainly have the backing of Telegram and the database, right? But I mean, it's like same here. I've not heard like that the developer ecosystem is like super full there. And I think it's left to be seen whether that does fill up.
I think SocialFi and hardware might be a small turning point. Like, no matter how much DeFi guys or like legit guys don't like SocialFi or those kind of stuff, right? If you think about it, other than, well, legit wise, only DeFi Summer brought people come in. What else are the driving force for people came in? It was the NFTs. It was the NFTs. It was the GameFi. It was those kind of like stuff that you think is dumb because that's what most people want to try. Like, all right, let's put it this way, right? If the guys are too smart, they will give up they will sell their yield ASAP. And then you want to play chess against people that just want to do it for fun. You don't want to yield farm or go PvP against people like me, right? You want to PvP with some people that think, oh, the monkey is cute, I'll never sell it. Like that. And then if everyone thinks that way, then suddenly the value will stay. Like that's how you get the mass adoption to come in. Like, yeah, that's what I think. Sorry, Anthony, what were you trying to say?
No, I just interesting take on the SocialFi. I just checked on Dune Analytics daily active users of Farcaster, and after the release of Farcaster frames, there was a major peak of the daily active users, and I was pretty sure that it dropped down because this is often the case, right? There's like a badass feature coming up, and people are coming onto the protocol, but after, I don't know, interacting with it for 2 weeks, they drop off. And actually, there's like 10% drop, which is pretty amazing. So, I wanted to just ask you, like, SocialFi, is it Farcaster only? Do you prefer Farcaster rather than Lens protocol? What's your vision about the SocialFi?
So I've played with Lens. I've played with ecosystem on Lens. I've played with Friendtech. I've played with Farcaster. I've tried with every SocialFi aspect. Like, in my point of view, Farcasters, what they did right was not the product, but the ability to bootstrap quality content. I don't want to say creative, but like the stuff was good to read there. And then but I don't know, right? Like the content is good there, but like if once you get more people writing there, then designing the social media algorithm becomes a lot harder. And then do you put in the incentive and the Ponzi part into it to bootstrap the token or not? Because if you notice, right, like I think social media has a tendency, same with crypto, but it repeats in a very longer time horizon. It's like Facebook was cool, and then they started doing more ads, and then marketing agencies started attacking it in a way to make money, and it becomes really shit. Then people were like, oh, Instagram is so cool. And then everyone started making ads in Instagram. People started algo hacking. It's just like token designing, right? It's just, but the cycle would last 3 years or 4 years or something like that. But social media actually just repeatedly die and reborn, and then it's often fight between the algo designer and the algo hackers to extract value or to be popular on the platform, same as farmers and tokenomics designer kind of thing. But sorry, I forgot what was the question. The question was, what do I think about what they do very well? I think the content there is great. Frames, to be very honest, I don't see the fantastic part of it, but like the market has proven that I'm the wrong one. So yeah, I just thought it's just a little window that clicks into it that you can do something. I don't know why is it so cool, but like if it's cool, it's cool, right? Just like meme coins, like the market is right, I'm wrong.
I think we're towards the end. Just want to ask you, like, for those who are listening in, you've been around for a cycle and a half. You pretty much are all in crypto in terms of your time as well. What advice do you have for someone that's trying not to get wrecked, that's trying to make it in this cycle in crypto?
I think they really have to learn about sizing. The thing is, like, you're so used to looking at data. You're so like so when if you trade stocks or if you trade anything else, right? You don't tell people how much you buy typically, but in crypto, it's very commonly people say, I bought this at this amount, at this price, and then you will constantly FOMO to lose your discipline in how do you size everything. And because crypto stuff can go zero so quickly, you have to never forget what size. Like if your portfolio size is this, then you need to make sure that I'm just playing 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%. Just keep that straight. Like don't ever because say, oh, 2K, that's so little. Even if it's 5x, it's only like 10K. Nah, bro. Like if how much you put in, how much you put ever you decide to put in crypto, and that should be the limited amount. Like don't chase for the gains, but size matters. Like just control your size bet. There's always the next 100x or 20x until like maybe until the end of next cycle, I think.
Cool. So I think we come to the end. I think just wanted to just shout out to you, 2Lambroz, for those who are looking to get more from you, could you share a little bit more about where they can find you on Twitter, on your Substack, on your Telegram chats, which are actually full of really great people and alpha?
Yeah. So you can search 2Lambro on my on Twitter to find me. The 2 is a number, and then Lambro. Then my Substack is like whatever. I just copy and paste there. You can, if you don't like my shit posting, my jokes, you can just click there, and there is a link in the bio which goes to my group chat. And hopefully, I would maybe try to start making YouTube with this thing, and let's see what's up.
Thanks for jumping on the chat. I think it's super insightful to get a Degen investor, Degen writer's view on the market, on crypto. And we look forward to the next chat. Thanks to Lambro.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.